Hey everyone, it's Dr. Dingo here, back for episode 2 of Marion County. In our last episode, we did a bunch of infrastructure, did some terraforming, really got our base layout going for our future high-density downtown. Today, we're going to do some zoning, basic services, and take our population from 0 to 1, which, that's a good thing. Let's take a look at our existing infrastructure on this side over here. I'd like to do some industry along the river, some commercial and residential in the middle, and then on this side, purely residential and commercial. And ideally, we would have offices, but we don't have those unlocked yet. We'll go ahead and pull our interstate through. We also need to think about our services. We don't have police or fire unlocked, and we will need a place for those. I think somewhere down here might be good, at least initially, as they will be able to service all 3 communities, and the medical center as well. Initially, the way I like to build is a lot of temporary things that I know in the future we'll move those. So we have that, we have electricity. I think we'll be okay. Let's continue to zone here. I'm zoning like this so that these buildings all face these roads here. And this street with the bridge, I think having that as a commercial road might be a good thing. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a commercial building there. Something like that. Alright, let's pause from zoning. We're going to let our demand build back up here. And I want to look at our medical center. Now, medical center is not cheap. It's $105,000 a month. And I know that we're not going to develop this way much at first. Our initial residential expansion will be over here. So I'm going to take that into account when placing this and make sure that the medical center is on this side of the river. It'll have close access to the interstate, so the ambulances can move around if needed. And yeah, putting 2 medical centers down early game is not great for the budget. We are going to have on-ramps and off-ramps right here, and I hate to take away some kind of prime commercial zoning there on the main street. So we're going to place it back here. It's still adjacent. It can still quickly get over to the interstate, but we leave this real estate here for commercial. So that's okay for now. And we might even consider placing the police station nearby here and the fire station as well. Alright, cool. We're a small village. I think we can unlock our interstates. Let's take a look at that. And yes, we have highways. Let's unlock that. We don't have enough expansion permits to get over here. We only have 4. And this is really where I want the interstate to be cutting back through. So I think for now, we're going to buy these 4. And we'll bring the interstate through. I might regret that. I'm going to regret that. Because we need room for our on-ramps and off-ramps. Don't use all your tiles at one time. That's a great example of why. But we should be okay. I can build the highways and we'll keep getting XP, and then we can do our on-ramps and off-ramps up here. I can at least get the majority of it done. So let's start working on this while the town is growing and kind of settling in, and we can get our demand reset. We try to keep this pretty clean and just go parallel to this road network if possible. Let's do that. Let's pull our that's probably temporary, but we're gonna go with it for now, just to get us where we're going. To have an arc that's part of a circle, so you see I'm at 308, and then the next section up here where we're pulling out, you see it's climbing 206, 210, 214. That also needs to be 308, and that would give you an arc that is part of a circle. Yeah, I just about nailed it. But so if I continued on and I did this, we'd be drawing an ellipsis, not a circle. So while the curve might, function, if you really want something that just is like aesthetically does something to the eye, it's making both those distances the same. Anyway, we were almost there, so we just need to turn off some stuff and should be able to get there. There's this too. Let's get to 308 and call it good. There we go. So that right there is an arc of a circle. And there we have our two areas connected. Let's see if this worked. There we go. We got our pillar in the center. Oh, I don't know what I want to do with this yet, this area. What do we want to do? Really, it really doesn't need like a fill wall. I mean, the on-ramp here doesn't really need much. We'll probably want to do an asymmetrical road here for the off-ramp. It's not great having an off-ramp come up to a stoplight that soon. It'd almost be worth taking this road out. Give ourselves a little more distance on that and actually have the I think that's what we're gonna do. That's I can tell you right now we're gonna end up with backup if we have a stoplight right there. So let's just get rid of that for now. We'll have to see, how this holds up over time. We could easily drop another one in right here if we need more direct access to this area down here. And then we'll have another one up here for these residents, and that'll keep some traffic off of here as well. Probably notice I like to use terrain. I mean, I like to use fill walls too, and key walls and stuff, but terrain a lot of times is a little more realistic because it's just way more cost effective in real life to use a combination of terrain and just putting concrete everywhere. This is I used to live in a city, and in fact the city I live in now has something like this, but so where I used to live and where I live now both had the interstate coming through town had miles of this, and it works as a pretty effective sound barrier. I mean, where I live now, I'm probably a mile away from the interstate that's cut through like this, and I can still hear motorcycles at night on it, but I don't really hear anything else. So it does act as a pretty nice sound barrier for the most part. One thing with cities to think about is things like setback. So a fence would have what the city calls a setback. So they might have a rule where if you're within 15 feet of the sidewalk on the front face side of a house, you cannot have a fence that's more than, say, 3 feet high. But then once you hit 15 feet, you can then have a fence that's, say, up to 6 feet high or up to 7 feet high. And so those setback rules are why, you don't see houses built right up to the property line. There is a distance, and that's important too for just things like fire, so you don't have fire jumping from house to house. But you see those setback rules in all types of buildings. You see them in skyscrapers, where you'll see a skyscraper go up how many ever stories, and then it comes in. That's not necessarily a structural thing. They could build straight up without any setbacks, but the city is forcing them to do that for things like to allow light to come through, so just doesn't overshadow a whole area. And that's something to keep in mind when you're like zoning out your buildings, is to stagger them in a way that makes sense, so that the residents of the town aren't just living in total darkness. They're not just living side to side. You see things like this in Manhattan and other places of the world, but in most towns, this is you would still see like some sort of distance between these two, especially for fire. So it can't just go from building to building to building. Now I think we can come over here. Ooh, that's bad. These need to be full-sized buildings here. Yeah, we're looking pretty good so far. Let's keep going. Yeah, this could be some good. Oh, I was thinking offices here, to be honest. Didn't even realize we had apartments. And we probably need... Yeah, I was about to say, we probably need some police. Let's think about that. Of course, our block size is not going to help us out. Oh, this could be interesting here. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. We'll do something like this. We'll do some landscaping here. This will be a low trafficked road because it's purely for police and fire. So we'll do this. Yeah, and then later, I think when we get our larger buildings, we could continue to use this area for police and fire. We'll have to rebuild it a little bit, but it looks like we have enough space to make that happen. And we can take some of this back a little bit. And I think that's a great location. We have great interstate access here, and we're on a main road. So that's nice. We can do something, plant some individual trees. Okay, that's not too bad. A little bit of that. I don't think I want low density right here. Well, I don't want low density anywhere in here, but definitely not right there, that close to the main road. This thing will be noisy too, a lot of traffic. Really, offices would probably be good in here. These need to be full-sized buildings. Oh, good thing we put that fire department down. Town's on fire. There he goes. What happened here? Fire? Was that happening while I was putting the fire? I didn't even realize. Must have been either that or this burned down really fast. I like where we're at. I like how everything is developing, and we're almost up to 1,000 people, so I can't complain. Let's take a look at our infographics here. The traffic. I tend to check out traffic volume a little bit more than traffic flow. Sometimes this can be deceptive, and it all kind of makes sense. You know, this area right here is not great, and it might get backed up there from time to time. Is the nature of cities. There aren't a lot of cities I've been to that have perfect traffic, so I don't know if that's really a thing that can be accomplished, but we'll do our best. Looks like we need some more power, and we might be able to just upgrade this guy. Do that. So power is fine for right now. Water is fine. Healthcare, you know, we're pretty centrally located. The medical centers do well at the start, but it's really when you get the hospital and stuff, that's when your healthcare really kind of gets better. Not worried about garbage, we're just exporting that. So that's the thing. I don't really get garbage going until I see a building where it's piling up. I don't bother. And we're making some progress here. I developed up this little downtown here. This will probably be mixed residential and commercial. So we'll switch this up and get more of like kind of that old downtown look over here. So there'll still be, 8, 9, 10-story buildings, but it won't be the 30, 40-story buildings you'd see over here. And I think we're almost ready to zone this up. We do need to put our high school in this area. Sometimes when it comes to things like schools, I'll just zone up an area and see what kind of comes out of it. And I really like this spot, and it's on the top of the hill, so it's good. The one downside is high schools do produce some noise, but I think this is a good spot, and I'm not too worried about the football field. Okay, let's go with this right now. And we could add some parking across the street. And down here, we could do, some parks, or we could do we could even get rid of this street here. Although it is kind of one of the main roads into the neighborhood. I'm thinking maybe like for a soccer field. Yeah, I don't know yet. Don't know yet. I'm thinking about the town name, and I think we're going to keep it simple. We're in Marion County, and since we're in Marion County, I think we should do the town of Silver. Well, we could do Silver 10. That's a town in Marion County, but Silver Falls State Park. It's a really cool state park. And I think maybe we name this Silver Falls. How about we do Silver Falls, and we'll do North Falls and South Falls. Yeah, let's go with that. I like it. I think that's what we're doing. We're doing Silver Falls is the name of our main town. While I'm doing this, I had another thought too about our police. We're gonna need a more police presence out here, and because we're fairly rural, or it's transitioning into rural, this might be a good area to put like a sheriff's department. So we'll have like the downtown police, which will eventually be a large police station, but the smaller police stations we can use as sheriff's departments. Okay, so we have Silver Falls. I'm giving you guys some not so subtle clues as to the part of the country I live in. Or have lived in. I don't know, you never know. But sometimes I can be really creative, and sometimes I'm just like, whatever, man. It doesn't matter. So this will be, do we know what's north, south, east, west? I don't even have the sun turned on, so we're just gonna call this South Falls, and this will be North Falls. Alright everyone, I think that's it for episode 2 of Marion County. Next episode, we're going to work on North Falls City and South Falls City. Get those towns set up and going. We've already started on South Falls City here, so we really just need to finish this town out. We'll make all our interstate connections and keep going from there. I still, of course, have some more detail work to do in the town of Silver Falls, but nothing I think you're going to miss. It's just a matter of a little bit of zoning here and there as the demand warrants it. Right now, we really don't have the demand needed. After that, we can start getting into switching this out to high density and really creating an interesting layout full of different mixed uses, different services, public transit, and really we just, wow, did you see that building collapse? All right, well, maybe the town isn't perfect yet, but we're getting there. I'm Dr. Dingo. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks.